Grand cypress trees snapped in half by the force of Mother Nature. Houses moved off their foundation.
This has got to be a 1,000-year flood.
Rescue crews in Texas are working to account for missing children caught up in flash flooding overnight. According to Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, heavy rain caused the Guadalupe River to flood, washing out a number of summer camps in that area. At a press event Friday, Patrick said about 20 kids are still unaccounted for from an all-girls camp. Now, he is encouraging people not to travel to the area as the rain is still coming down.
There's flooding and many roads are impassable, major roads, minor roads, and once we're able to get some of those roads clear, when the rain stops, then we have 10 buses ready to go in and pick up the kids, and we'll find a point and announce it at that time where you can be reunited with your child and hug them hard, because you know they're frightened.
Very difficult there. So far, 13 people are reported dead from the flash flooding. More rain is forecast into the weekend, and first responders say more flooding is expected in the coming days as water moves downstream.
A nightmare unfolding in central Texas. 24 people dead and many more unaccounted for as of Friday, including more than 20 girls attending a summer camp. Now this after a catastrophic flash flooding overwhelmed the Guadalupe River. Now, at least 10 inches of rain poured down overnight in central Kerr County, causing flash flooding of the Guadalupe River. Authorities said 237 people had been rescued so far, including 167 by helicopter. The mayor of Kerrville was emotional as he asked the public for prayer.
Please pray for our community. This is a hard day, and there will be hard days to come. Pray for us. We covet your prayers.
Now, Governor Abbott signing a disaster declaration for multiple counties in the flood zones. More rain is forecasted into the weekend, and first responders say more flooding is expected in the coming days as the water moves downstream.
The death toll continues to rise in Kerr County after extreme flooding. 37 people are now dead, and first responders are still searching for 27 girls from a summer camp. But the total number of people missing, still unknown. Capitol correspondent Dylan McKim is in Kerr County tonight, speaking with the community as the floodwaters recede.
It's pretty bad.
Lifelong Kerr County residents are still in shock.
I don't even know how we're going to move some of these logs.
Grand cypress trees snapped in half by the force of Mother Nature. Houses moved off their foundation.
This has got to be a 1,000-year flood.
James Forster lives right near the Guadalupe River. He came to check on his friend's house situated on the banks of the river on Friday morning.
I'm looking, and about that time the water hits me. And then it all comes, it pops this thing up, pops the floorboards up.
The water was on him in a matter of moments.
Like a dam broke.
Both Forster and Central Point resident Logan Green say they're used to the river flooding. But this time, it happened so much faster.
Gradual rises and, get this high, but to come down that fast at one time, never seen it.
Today will be a hard day.
I got to see firsthand many of the body bags.
The total number of those missing is still unknown. But rescue efforts continue Saturday night with no sign of slowing down.
We will be relentless.
850 people have been either rescued or recovered, but there's still no sign of 27 girls who went missing from a private summer camp. 36 hours into the operation, and hopes for a recovery are dwindling.
History would tell us that after a certain time period, those chances diminish.
In Kerr County, I'm Dylan McKim.
That's just terrible news there. Well, Governor Greg Abbott also officially requested help from the federal government. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christian Noem said the president will accept the emergency request and added relief is coming. Flooding took the lives of 43 people in Kerr County, that's near San Antonio, and rescue teams are still searching for 27 girls missing from a summer camp area. Now, right now, authorities don't know how many people are missing. Saturday afternoon, Texas Governor Greg Abbott provided updated details on the state's response to the severe flooding in Kerr and the surrounding areas. Now, during the update, the governor signed an official request for additional assistance from the federal government. The DHS secretary assures Abbott that Texas will receive all the help that they need. The governor also was joined by U.S. Senator John Cornyn, Congressman Chip Roy, plus state and local officials.
Double down on what I said last night. We will be relentless in going after and ensuring that we locate every single person who's been a victim of this flooding event. We're not going to stop today or tomorrow. We will stop when the job is completed.
So far during the extreme flooding, more than 850 people have been rescued. The bodies of 43 people have been recovered. As we know, camp areas were hit hard by the tremendous flooding. At Camp Mystic, several people were rescued from the rising floodwaters. One woman's family had no choice but to hold each other and hope to be rescued. Our sister station, Sally Hernandez, spoke with a family member here at KTSM. Take a listen.
How were the girls rescued?
They had to go a little higher up to maybe Tribe Hill, and they were rescued by helicopters.
Have you talked to them?
I have not, because it's against tribe training to have your phone if you're a camper. So all the campers left their phones in the office, and the office was gone.
This region near the Guadalupe River is no stranger to floods. In 1987, rapidly rising water killed 10 people. The death toll from flash floods that raged through central Texas rose to 78 people. This is a map showing you where the area hit hardest is compared to El Paso. Authorities say 11 girls are still missing from Camp Mystic, a summer camp wiped out by the flooding early Friday, and many more people are missing from other areas. Now it gets much worse. Search teams recovered more than bodies since Saturday in Kirk County. That makes it to 68 people who have died there, and that includes 28 children. Some families were allowed to see the hardest hit camp in Hill Country. Meanwhile, nearby crews navigated through challenging terrain to continue their search along the riverbank. President Donald Trump today signed a major disaster declaration giving first responders access to necessary resources as they continue to work on search and recovery efforts.
At present, there's over 400 first responders for more than 20 agencies that are working in Kirk County. We have more than a dozen canine working in and near the river. More than 100 air, water, and ground vehicles are in the field right now working on this search and rescue.
Now, during a press conference, Kerrville City Manager Dalton Rice again avoided questions on whether emergency alerts were sent about flash floods and why people were not evacuated. The death toll from flash floods that raged through central Texas rose to 78 people. Now, this is a map showing you where the area hit hardest is compared to El Paso. Authorities say 11 girls are still missing from Camp Mystic, a summer camp wiped out by the flooding early on Friday, and many more people are still missing from other areas. It gets much worse. Search teams recovered more bodies since Saturday in Kirk County. That makes it 68 people who have died there, including 28 children. Some families were allowed to see the hardest hit camp in Hill Country. Meanwhile, nearby crews navigated through challenging terrain to continue their search along a riverbank. Today, President Donald Trump signed a major disaster declaration giving first responders access to necessary resources as they continue their search and recovery efforts.
I had the opportunity yesterday to visit Camp Mystic and get to see firsthand what happened there, as well as all the way downstream after that. And it was nothing short of horrific to see what those young children went through. And we will remain 100% dedicated, searching for every single one of the children who were at Camp Mystic, as well as anybody else in the entire riverbed, to make sure that they're going to be recovered.
Now, state officials are warning residents about more rain on the way for that region, prompting evacuations.
The death toll from flash floods that raged through central Texas rose to 82 people.
Well, take a look at this map showing you where that area hardest hit is compared to El Paso. Authorities say 11 girls are still missing from Camp Mystic, which was a summer camp that was wiped out by the flooding early Friday, and many more people are missing from other areas.
Well, it gets worse. Search teams recovered more bodies since Saturday in Kerr County. That makes it 68 people who have died there, including 28 children.
Some families were allowed to see the hardest hit camp in Hill Country. Meanwhile, nearby crews navigated through challenging terrain to continue their search along the riverbank.
On Sunday, President Donald Trump signed a major disaster declaration giving first responders access to necessary resources as they continue their search and recovery efforts.
And Governor Greg Abbott briefed the media Sunday and spoke about his visit to Camp Mystic the previous day.
The opportunity yesterday to visit Camp Mystic and get to see firsthand what happened there, as well as all the way downstream after that. And it was nothing short of horrific to see what those young children went through. And we will remain 100% dedicated, searching for every single one of the children who were at Camp Mystic, as well as anybody else in the entire riverbed, to make sure that they're going to be recovered.
Now, state officials are warning residents about more rain on the way for the region, prompting evacuations.
Responders are working tirelessly. Among them are several from El Paso's Fire Department's water rescue team. Now take a look at this video of them saving people from the flooding in Marble Falls. In the fire department's Facebook video, you can see the roaring flood water slamming against a raft as they pull people to safety. Fire officials say those rescued were clinging to a tree. They also shared these photos with us of search and rescue crews, where you can see just how dangerous their rescue efforts are.
What have you seen out here?
Unthinkable things. I mean, there's things that no one ever would have thought they've seen in their lifetime.
That was volunteer firefighter Wyatt Kelly speaking with NBC Nightly News anchor Tom Yamas. He's part of a growing rescue team that continues to work round the clock searching flooded riverbanks and tangled debris for survivors in central Texas after days of heavy rainfall and flooding. Thank you for choosing KTSM 9 News at 10. I'm Andy Morgan. Over 100 people are now confirmed dead across 6 central Texas counties, with Kerr County seeing the most devastation, and there are people who are still missing. Damage and destruction across the floodplain in Kerrville, Texas, as waters receded after that deadly flash flood over the weekend. In Kerr County alone, NBC News is reporting 84 deaths, including 28 children. Some 400 first responders now scouring the swollen Guadalupe River and its banks. Officials say Camp Mystic, which is on the banks of the river, has 10 campers and 1 staff member that are still unaccounted for. Now, all of this as search teams are still looking for dozens of people missing today, all while facing the danger of more heavy rain and thunderstorms. Now, also on the ground is a water rescue team from right here in El Paso. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo joins us from the newsroom tonight with a closer look on how that team is already saving lives.
The 6-member team was initially deployed to Ruidoso, but on July 5th, they were redirected to Central Texas. And that night, they carried out their first swift water rescues. Tonight, they're still there assisting in the search for the missing. Take a look. In the heart of a flood zone where roads are now rivers and homes are swallowed by water, rescue crews are racing against time. And El Paso's water rescue team is right in the middle of it. Shortly after arriving in Kerr County, the team was quickly put to work.
They got rolled in about 5 in the afternoon on July the 5th, and that night they performed 2 rescues of individuals that were swept away but caught in a tree. And so they were retrieved from the tree in that fast-moving water and were brought to safety.
The team is part of Texas Task Force 1, and it includes 6 members, 2 boats and 2 trucks, along with members from other agencies. Now, since being deployed, they've helped evacuate between 35 and 40 people, including multiple pets.
This morning, we're involved in a search and rescue in Burlette, Texas, looking for 5 missing people along with other resources that were down there. They're constantly working. Once they complete that mission, off to the next mission.
Menendez says the team trains year-round in places like Galveston and Tennessee to be ready for fast-moving water.
It becomes, I'm going to say, operationally muscle memory, where, we're constantly training, constantly preparing.
And a final reminder, dangerous flooding isn't just in Central Texas. Flash flooding can happen here too.
Turn around, don't drown. It does not take much water to move a vehicle, or much less move you if you're trying to walk through a flooded area.
The team is expected to be in Central Texas through July 15th. However, they could be there longer if needed. In the newsroom, Diana Castillo, KTSM-9 News.
As we stand here today, there are still 10 girls and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic that are unaccounted for, and that means there are 11 sets of parents that are right now not knowing if their little girl is still alive or dead. It's unspeakable.
Well, that's Texas Senator Ted Cruz speaking on the tragedy unfolding in Central Texas.
Well, over 100 people are confirmed dead across 6 Central Texas counties, with Kerr County seeing the most devastation.
Damage and deconstruction across the floodplain in Kerrville, Texas, as waters receded after that deadly flash flood over the weekend.
In just Kerr County alone, NBC News is reporting 84 deaths, including 28 children. Some 400 first responders now scoring the swollen Guadalupe River and its banks. Of course, we will have a full report on the El Paso Water Rescue Team assisting in that effort, as well as the Mexican governance assistance coming up very soon.
And El Paso is playing a pivotal role in helping Central Texas recover and heal from the deadly flooding.
That's right. Federal rescue teams based right here in El Paso are currently in Kerr County conducting search, rescue, and recovery operations. It's an effort these teams train for year-round. KTSM-9 News reporter Diana Castillo joins us live from the newsroom on those efforts. Diana.
Well, Andy Estela, Borstar, the Border Patrol's Search, Trauma, and Rescue Unit, is trained for extreme conditions. And right now, they're putting that training to the test in Central Texas after being activated to assist with deadly flooding along the Guadalupe River. From the riverbanks of Camp Mystic to the shoreline of Canyon Lake, federal agents are navigating swollen floodwaters in treacherous terrain, searching for those who still need to be rescued.
We consist of incident command specialists, land navigation specialists, swiftwater specialists, which is key for what we're doing here.
Borstar, a specialized unit of the U.S. Border Patrol based in El Paso, deployed 42 of its agents to Central Texas, following a request from Texas DPS. Commander Eric Wells says conditions on the ground have been challenging, with heat, humidity, and dangerous debris making every rescue a race against time. But the team is equipped for it, with experts in rope rescue, dive operations, and even canine teams trained in both live search and human remains detection.
There have been steep embankments that have been slick due to all the rain. There's also been large debris piles with fallen trees, various machinery that have been along the riverway, housing and camps that have been pushed away by the water. And so that train's been difficult.
Agents have already pulled multiple people from the water, including a volunteer who slipped into the river while trying to help others. But the team is not doing it alone. Borstar agents are working side by side with the Texas Department of Public Safety, the U.S. Coast Guard, and local emergency teams, coordinating search and rescue from the air, the water, and the ground.
This is a major disaster and it's very catastrophic. The loss of life is significant that's been here. Our efforts to try and assist with any situation like this, we'll try to get involved with and provide that support and put our expertise and skill set to good use and try to bring some closure to some families.
Now, for now, there's no end date in sight. Commander Wells says Borstar will stay in Central Texas as long as they're needed. Now, on top of these teams, 6 members of the El Paso Fire Department's water rescue team are also in Central Texas, assisting with evacuations and wide area searches. Now, they are expected to remain deployed through July 15th, but could stay longer if needed. In the newsroom, Diana Castillo, KTSM 9 News.